I was thinking about my mama when she passed. It's been bothering me. Please close your eyes, if you will. Wake up in a dark hole. In utter absence, you reach out and you touch nothing. A bead of sweat trickles down your back. And another. Moisture forms on your forearms. Questions flood. Where am I? How did I get here? What happened? Before you can answer, a voice shouts your name. It's the person in the world you love the most, and you shout back. You hear more voices, and you shout back. But you can't reach them. You cannot get out, and they cannot get in. What is this? A well? A cave? A prison? You find the wall. You feel along the cracks and the crevices. The jagged edges cut your fingers. The sweat rolls. A tiny drop of blood drips from your elbow. Trapped. Your teeth begin to ache. You've been clenching your jaw the entire time. The absence sets in. The voices get louder. Those outside and those in your head. Your hand bumps something. It feels like a hinge. It's a door. You slide your hand across the panels, remove the latches, turn the locks. A sliver of light catches your eye, and you pull the handle. As it breaks in your hand, you fall to the floor. Throw the handle, and it clatters away. You know the truth. You should surrender. I'm going to starve. I'm going to die. Ever see anyone? Nothing. You succumb. I'm going to die here. Then something rises within you. A burst of violent determination. A strike of angry hope. And you give it one final try. You force yourself back to the wall, back to the pain, back to the Brillo pad lacerations on your hands, and you press in. And as the sweat pours off your body and you tremble in agony, you press in. You find a window. And with all you have, you smash that pane and you scrape through the sill, cutting your body and falling to the cool tile floor and the light. Open your eyes. You've just escaped a deep, dark depression. Your life is forever changed, and you don't ever want to go back. That was deep, and that was dark. We need a moment to reset, and we need a moment to recover before we move on. Please take a deep breath with me. Breathe in, hold it, breathe out one more time. Breathe in, hold, breathe out. Exhale. Let's change the energy in this space. This is my favorite yoga stretch. It's a game changer. I want you to take the corners of your mouth and I want you to push them up towards your ears and hold. Move from a moment of desperation to a moment of restoration. Now that we've reset, let's talk. After you escape the depression I just explained, you decide you want to help others. So you share your story. But when you try it doesn't land, you can't explain how you escaped. You figured it out. And you made it to the light. You just worked really hard and you busted through. The problem is you have an amazing story, but a totally ineffective message. Try really hard and you can escape too. That doesn't land. And that's where I come in. I'm Eric Wilson. I'm number 6 on your paper, and I'm a ghostwriter. And I help you define, systemize, and articulate your message so it's accessible to the recipient. Together, we make a way for it to land, a way to make a difference. Now, my story is one of using one set of skills to help others. We saw that Tupac used his Haddish used her humor, Jobs his visualization, Stutzman his feet, he used his ingenuity. I use writing, but all of us use creativity. I'm going to give you a quiz. Now, do you want a pop quiz or do you want a mammal quiz? Here's the difference. My grandfather was called Pop. He grew up in Kentucky and he loved 3 things. He loved his moonshine that he made, and he loved his women. It didn't matter if he was married to them or not. This man had 17 children and a few more that we're not sure. But above his moonshine and above his women, he loved something else. And it was beating that boop. Yes, he was a grade A corporal punisher, and he enjoyed it thoroughly. Now, Mamaw, she was different. Mamaw, she loved to cook. She could make fried chicken that would change your life. She could make biscuits and gravy that melted in your mouth, and she made something special that you ain't lived if you haven't tried. Melt your heart. It's called chocolate gravy. I know what you're thinking. Chocolate and gravy? But this is like a little bit of heaven in your mouth. This is like a chocolate fountain to your taste buds. So do you want a Mamaw quiz or do you want a pop quiz? So you want a Mamaw quiz. Okay, flip your paper over. Eric Wilson, flip them over. On the back, I want you to write down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's write them down. Here we go. Presidents, entertainers, public speakers, teachers, and athletes. Presidents, entertainers, public speakers, teachers, and athletes. One more time. Presidents, entertainers, teachers, public speakers, and athletes. Something like that. Some kind of order like that. Okay, this is a Mamaw quiz. Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay, the answer is no. No. To the questions. To the questions. The answer is no. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here we go. Here are your questions. The answer is no. Do presidents write all their own books? No. Do entertainers write all their own books? No. Do public speakers write all their own books? No. Do teachers write all their own books? No. Do they write all their own lesson plans? No. Do actors write all their own lines? No. No. Hold on. What about athletes? Do you think that Shaquille O'Neal took his 7'4", 300+ pound frame, crammed it in behind a little bitty laptop, and hand jammed out an 80,000 word manuscript? No. 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 It's a Mamaw quiz. Now, all these people I just mentioned have a message. They have a story. Then they may show their message physically, like on the basketball court or in the gymnasium, or orally, through speaking or telling jokes, but maybe their way, maybe their platform is not writing. And so they need someone to help them perform or slide that message across the table. Nearly all of them use ghostwriters in some type of capacity. And do you know why they use ghostwriters? No? Do you want me to tell you why? The answer is yes to that. I'll tell you why. But you're going to have to wait. Because this is a Mamaw quiz. And Mamaw, she's still cooking. And while Mamaw's cooking, you don't mess with her. You've got to wait till she delivers the goodies. Okay, now my real name is not Eric Wilson. That's the name on the paper that we used. It's a pseudonym. My real name is Michael Ison. Is Michael D. Ison. You see my application. Eric's story is my story. Now, I can't sing or dance. I can't run fast. I can't play guitar. I can't design iPhones. I was told not to take advanced placement English because it was too aloof for me. Heck, I was cut from a basketball team that couldn't even win one single game. And then, if you saw my application and you overlooked me because my parents are white, uneducated, conservatives from the South, if you thought, man, them is some rednecks, or if it's because my dad was disabled and you really didn't know what disabled meant and what that entailed, maybe he was even faking it. I mean, come on, the guy's uneducated, he's from the South, he's probably just living off the government, then you missed the nugget. And the nugget is, I could always write. Just needed that one skill. And if you miss that nugget, you may have missed the chance to work with me to publish your message to the world. Raise your hands if you were alive. Raise your hands if you were alive in the 1980s. Raise your hands if you were alive in the 1980s. Let me see those 80s babies, 1980 through 1989. You were alive in the 1980s. Put your hands up. You know, Outkast used to sing a song, and the song would go, now throw your hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care. I told you I couldn't sing. I told you I couldn't sing. Put your hands down, put your hands down, put your hands down. You're stinking up the room. You're stinking up the room. Now, if you were alive in the 1980s, somebody else you know of is Ric Flair. So for this next question, we're going to practice the 2 and a woo Flair. See, I can't even woo right. I can still write. So if you've ever heard of the Beastie Boys, give me woo 2 and a Flair. All right, very good. So the song I'm referring to is called Paul Revere. And when Mike D gets the mic, he says, I'm Mike D and I get fill in the blank. You know what it is? It's respect. I'm Mike D and I get respect. And so you can remember my name by that. I'm Mike D and I get respect. Now, back when I was teaching sophomores, I remember I was teaching sophomore and junior English, and I had to sign up for this big event where we went out into the community and we did community service, and I wrote down my name and I wrote down Mr. Ison, but I spelled it E-Y-E-S-O-N. E-Y-E-S-O-N. One of the students in there, sophomore, pimply-faced, redhead, cuddly. You know the type. He whispered, well, he said to the little girl next to him in class one day, he said, Mr. Eyes On should have been Mr. Eyes Off. Now, Viktor Frankl says, between stimulus and response, there's a space. And I took my space. I did my 5-second rule. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, deep breath. Look at the ceiling. And you know what I said? You know what I said to that kid? I said, you little jerk, just wait till I get my hands on you. You're gonna choke him. I'm just kidding. I didn't choke him. I didn't touch him. I didn't even think about choking him. I heard another teacher say that. If they had thought about it, it wasn't me. I never thought such a thing. No. What I did is I coolly and calmly walked over to the student and I bent down really close and I whispered in his ear and I said, I know. That's what makes it funny. They call it irony. And I felt really good about myself because I just given him a real world experience and a real example of verbal irony. The blind guy, Mr. Eyes On. So my name's easy to remember. I'm Mike D and I get respect and my eyes are on. That's my story. What's yours? Okay. Mama's done cooking now. The chocolate gravy is ready. The reason presidents, entertainers, athletes, public speakers, even teachers don't write all of their books and use ghostwriters is because the importance of their message is greater than the importance of their ego. They don't need to know or believe that they did it all on their own. They may want you to believe they did it all on their own, but they don't need to believe that they did it all on their own. They're about making an impact. The message supersedes their ego. We all need help. So, what's your story? What's your message? You know, have you told your story? Does it sometimes fail? Does it not land? Have you written your story? Have you written your message? Does it sometimes get skewed? Does it not land? Maybe the problem's not with the story. Maybe the problem's not with the message. Maybe the problem's not with the messenger. Maybe it's with how you present it. You need some help. Maybe you need some help writing it. Maybe you just need to be coached along the way. But in the end, isn't that what you want? To be heard? To help others? To be understood? To be recognized for what you've done, for what you've experienced? Then come get some of the chocolate gravy. Mike D, and I get respect. Thank you.